Hey guys, welcome back. I'm John Correa. So for today's video, we're painting a warm forest trail landscape. I will show you how to create a glowing warm light with all the little details in the trail and the grass in the foreground. This is just a short version of the full tutorial I shared on my Patreon, and if you'd like to follow along with the complete step-by-step version of this painting, it's all available on my Patreon. Also this September, we'll be starting a brand new theme, which is gonna be autumn, and I'm really excited to see what we'll paint together. And don't forget to check out our monthly contest on Patreon. It's a fun way to challenge yourself, learn from others in the community, and even have a chance to win some amazing prizes. So if you haven't joined yet, now is the perfect time to jump in and be part of the community. Alright, so let's get started and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, so let's lay down the acrylics, starting with primary blue, deep green permanent, primary red, cadmium yellow medium, titanium white, and black. So first we're gonna mix up the colors for the sky, starting with the lightest tones all the way to the darker shades we need. Alright, so let's grab our number 6 flat brush and start laying in the sky. Let's load the brush with the slightest yellow and just loosely brush it in. Just like that. We will start right at the lightest area where the sunlight is glowing, so it stays nice and clean and bright. Just gently blend the colors to create this beautiful gradient. Nice and easy, creating a soft, seamless transition. Then we'll mix a bit of pastel purple into the pink to get a nice in-between transition color. Just like that. After that, let's switch to our number 0 angle brush and start painting those distant background trees. Let's start with this slightly lighter orange, then just hold it vertically and brush up and down to suggest distant pine trees. Just like that. We don't need to make every tree perfect, just give the impression of forest line in the distance. And at the bottom, we'll add in some of this brown mix. This darker value really gives them weight and makes the scene feel more believable. Alright, so after that, let's mix the colors we need for these bigger and taller trees in the middle ground. Next, let's switch to our number 0 fan brush, and let's start by lining up the trunk of each tree. Gently drag it downward. Don't put too much pressure. Keep it really light so the strokes stay clean and don't get too heavy. Let's go for a little lighter and warmer first, and this will go in front of the sunlight. This tree should appear warmer, almost glowing a bit. You know, we don't need to make every trunk a perfect straight line. Trees in nature are not like that. Some can be a little curved, others slightly slanted. It actually makes the scene feel more natural when they're not all stiff and uniform. So yeah, don't be afraid to let a few lean to the side or bend just a little as you drag the brush down. And now let's move on to the limbs and leaves. Hold the brush horizontally this time and just lightly tap it over the trunk, using only the tip edge of the brush to create these soft little marks that suggest the branches and leaves without having to paint every detail. Then we'll switch up to this dark muted purple and make sure the top's a little stiffer and sharper, so we get that natural triangular pine tree shape. And don't worry if it's not perfectly even. Real trees are never symmetrical. A few uneven edges or broken spots actually make them look more natural. Make sure not to cover all those orange limbs we painted behind. Let some of that warmth peek through. We need that glow. That glow is what really makes the trees feel like they're catching the sunlight. Alright, so now let's mix the colors we need for the middle ground and foreground grass. We will start with the mid-tone color. Let's drop in this mid-tone layer using our number 6 flat brush. Let's scoop up a bit of orange here and some brown and place it right here in the center of the middle ground. This will carry that warm glow further down into the scene and blend it softly into this dark olive green. Let's grab our number 0 angle brush and let's start laying in the trail. And remember, when things are farther away, they always appear smaller. So let's keep the middle ground part of the trail a bit narrow to push that depth. And as we bring the trail forward, let it gradually widen toward the bottom part of the canvas. You know, that simple change in the size creates a strong perspective. Let's start dropping in some of these shadows. Just build everything up slowly, starting with the bigger blocks of color and then working our way down to the smaller details. If we jump straight into the details too early, the painting can feel scattered. But when the big shapes and values are solid first, all the little details you add later will sit naturally on top. Alright, so using our 00 small round brush, load it up with this light orange. We'll begin right here along the horizon line. Just lightly brush her in horizontally, but don't cover everything underneath. Make sure to leave some little gaps and spaces here and there. And since this is a bit farther away, you don't need to go in and paint every single blades of grass. Just brighten it up so it looks like the sunlight is hitting these patches, these grass areas. And then we'll switch over to these greens and start applying them to the bushes and grassy areas. I'm just gonna suggest some bushes, leaving the darker shadows area showing through. We don't want this to be as bright as the parts that are hit directly by sunlight. Just a touch of brightness is enough here. Let's gently place in a few trunks here, right over the shadow areas of the trees. Just lightly drag the brush straight down, just enough pressure so the line comes out a little thicker, but still soft. Just like that. Let's mix a little of this light purple right here, and we will use it to highlight. Just a thin line is enough, right where it's facing the sunlight. Then let's go back to our greens to brighten up a few more spots. And right here in the center grassy areas, we will use curved strokes to suggest little bushes of grass sitting low to the ground. And as we move closer toward the foreground, let's make these strokes a bit bigger and more spaced out. That simple change really sells the perspective. And then on this side, we will just use a flicking tapping motion with every stroke to create the leaf textures, the foliage. Keep your wrist loose and let the tip of the brush dance on the surface. Some strokes short, some a little longer, some grouped together, others more spaced out. And again, that randomness is what really makes it feel alive. Alright, so let's mix more colors. Let's now focus on the more brighter colors, more vibrant. So with the clean 00 small round brush, and start adding more of that warm glow just above these subtle greens in the grass. This step is all about slowly building up the light, layer by layer, before we drop in the brightest highlights. On this side, let's make it a bit fuller, but not too much. So again, in this area, since it's closer to us, we want to make it feel more detailed. So instead of soft curves like in the distance, let's keep that broken tapping motion with the tip of the brush. Alright, so now moving on to the brightest highlights. Using these light yellows, let's start layering right on top of the base highlight we put down earlier. Use smaller controlled strokes, almost like little glints of light sparkling on the grass. And yeah, again, vary your touch. Some strokes can be sharper, some a bit broken or lighter, almost like the paint is skipping across the canvas. You know, that broken texture makes the highlights feel more natural, like sunlight scattering on the tips of the grass and bushes. Then let's mix some white into this muted purple, just like that, with touch of orange and more white and red to get a nice light pinkish purple. Alright, and we will layer this right on top of the sunlit area on the trail, making it brighter and more vibrant. So right here, we're gonna use short horizontal strokes, keeping them light and broken, so the color softly sits over the base layer without covering it completely. So just scatter a few flicks here and there, so it looks natural. And finally, using pure titanium white, we're just gonna add these last tiny touches of glint to finish off the whole light effect. Keep this super minimal, just a dot here and there scattered all around, because pure white is the strongest color we got, and even the smallest stroke will stand out. Just a few tiny sparkle, so the whole scene feel alive and glowing, like the light is really bursting through.